My wife had her assistant accompany me to a restaurant for a business negotiation. During the meal, the assistant deliberately made things difficult, urging the client to force me to drink. I cited my alcohol allergy as a reason and got up to leave, but the assistant forcibly stopped me. "Sean, you're just a gold digger. When you're told to drink, you drink. What's with all the nonsense?" I smiled slightly at him, tore up the contract on the spot, and dialed my wife's phone. "According to your assistant, the Yang family doesn't need me anymore, is that right? Just a pretty boy. Do you think complaining to Mr. Yang will do any good?" Before the person on the other end could speak, the assistant snatched my cell phone away. "I'm putting it out there, you're drinking this whiskey today whether you want to or not." I glanced at him coldly. "And if I don't?" In all my years, I've never been threatened like this before. "You're quite the pioneer." The phone hadn't been hung up, and my wife's voice soon came through. "Sean, don't be unreasonable, okay? Ryan is doing this for the good of the company, just listen to him." Ashley's words were almost laughable to me. Since when did my business negotiations require a small assistant to interfere? The client hadn't even spoken yet, and Ryan, as the assistant, was already proactively offering a 20% reduction in profits. But even with that, the client was still not satisfied, insisting that I drink a whole bottle of whiskey before he'd sign the contract. Aside from the fact that everyone in the company knows about my alcohol allergy, there are also major problems with this contract itself. I was about to question her when Ryan hung up the phone directly. "Hear that? Even your wife tells you to listen to me. What are you still dissatisfied about?" I slowly raised my head, my tone devoid of any emotion. "Who told you I have to listen to her?" As soon as I said that, the client next to me immediately stood up. "If I'm not Ms. Tack, you must be the Yang family's live-in son-in-law," he said, sizing me up with a provocative gaze. "In my opinion, some people just aren't cut out for business. I only asked you to have a drink, and you tore up the contract. If your wife finds out about this, she'll probably divorce you when you get home." Hearing the client's words, I cracked a smile. "Mr. Lee, you and brother Ryan must be in cahoots, aren't you?" As a qualified businessman, keen insight is an essential skill. I noticed the two of them exchanging glances from the moment I walked in. Ryan, as the chairman's assistant, isn't only failing to seek benefits for his own company, but he's also colluding with the other party to target his own people. It seems like this dinner is likely targeting me. The client's eyes flickered, but he quickly regained his composure. "How could that be? I'm just speaking my mind. Everyone here today has achieved their status through their own hard work, except for you, who's just a gold digger. In terms of qualifications, I'm your company's client. I tell you to drink, and you have to drink. Got it?" Everyone at the table burst into laughter after hearing Mr. Lee's words. I scanned the room and spoke coldly. "Mr. Lee, I admit that I am quite handsome, but I don't particularly like the term pretty boy. I hope you won't mention it again in the future. Otherwise, I might actually get angry." As I said the last part, my gaze became sharp. "If I get angry, I'm afraid none of you here will have a good time." As soon as I finished speaking, the assistant Ryan couldn't help but stand up from his seat. "Sean, I'm still sitting right here. What are you pretending for? Others may not know your abilities, but I know them all too well. Mr. Yang told me long ago that you only managed to marry into the Yang family because of your parents' connections. From beginning to end, Mr. Yang has never thought highly of you." I couldn't help but narrow my eyes, looking at him LDLY. "Oh, really? Ashley really told you that?" Ryan nodded smugly, his eyes filled with excitement. "Of course, Mr. Yang has wanted to divorce you for a long time. You're just stubbornly clinging to their family and refusing to leave." Hearing Ryan's words, I was completely stunned. For a moment, I couldn't tell which words he made up and which were true. But at least I could confirm one thing: a small chairman's assistant dared to challenge me in public, and someone must be instructing him from behind. To get to the bottom of things, I couldn't wait to go back to the company and confront Ashley face to face. But as soon as I stood up, a pair of large hands pressed me back down heavily. You haven't even had your drink yet. Where do you think you're going? I slowly raised my head and arched an eyebrow. Where I want to go is my business. It's not up to a small assistant like you to decide. Ryan scoffed, staring at me intently. With me here today, you're not going anywhere. I looked at the man in surprise, unable to understand where he got his courage from. Assistant Ryan, I'm officially informing you that you're fired from the company. Hearing my words, Ryan not only didn't restrain himself, but became even more arrogant. You think you can fire me? Do you have the right? Look at your own status. How dare you speak so rashly? I pushed Ryan hard and stood up slowly. Ryan, you've provoked me again and again. Do you think I'm easy to bully? As soon as I finished speaking, Ryan's face changed immediately, and he grabbed my collar. Sean, you're just the Yang family's live-in son-in-law. How dare you shout at me? No one in the entire Yang group can fire me except Mr. Yang himself. If I hadn't been sober today, I would have thought I was drunk. Even the Yang family, at the height of their power, I didn't take seriously. And a mere chairman's assistant dares to yell at me? It seems I've been too low-key these past few years. Ryan, I'm warning you, let go of me right now, or no one will be able to save you today. I suppressed my anger and tried to reason with him. But some people were just too stubborn to listen. Ryan stared at me with bloodshot eyes. I won't let go. What can you do to me? As the chairman's assistant of the dignified Yang group, everyone has to give me face. What are you? Before I could speak, the clients next to me started sucking up to him. That's right. Everyone in Seaport City knows that the Yang group's success today is thanks to Assistant Ryan. Isn't he just sitting here because he's the Yang family's live-in son-in-law? There's nothing special about him. He's just a pretty boy. Exactly. Some people are getting too comfortable being gold diggers and can't see their place. I understood now. In these people's eyes, my status as sales manager was even lower than that of an assistant. I don't know where they got their courage. Ryan seemed to be enjoying the flattery, his face almost reaching the sky. Sean, if I were you, I'd obediently drink the whiskey so you don't have trouble explaining it to your wife when you get home. I looked at him coldly, my tone indifferent. Ryan, I'm warning you for the last time, don't test my limits. Mr. Yang, whom you constantly mention, only has her current status because of me. The reasons for this are something that none of you can understand. The reason I told them this was to hope that these business tycoons would back down. Compared to Ryan's provocation, I was now more eager to find out who was behind it all. If my wife Ashley was also involved, that would be interesting. Thinking back to 3 years ago, the Yang family was still a third-rate family, even on the verge of bankruptcy. That day, Ashley's father, Mr. Yang, suddenly approached me. The first thing he said was to ask me to marry his daughter, saying it was a childhood promise made by my dad before he passed away. I've always been very filial, so to fulfill my dad's wish, I had to bite the bullet and agree. On the surface, I'm the Yang family's live-in son-in-law, but in reality, the Yang family has come this far entirely because of my help behind the scenes. But now it seems that some people think their wings have hardened and want to kick me aside and fly solo. Ryan looked around and said, "You all heard that, right? This pretty boy actually said that the Yang family grew because of him. That's hilarious. The Yang family is now the head of the big 4 families in Willow Creek, and you're just a useless waste." To put it bluntly, if you weren't around, the Yang family might have even moved up a notch and even entered the capital circle. It wasn't until I heard Ryan's words that I suddenly understood. It turned out that this dinner was deliberately arranged, and even these business tycoons were actors he had hired, with the aim of forcing me to divorce Ashley. From this, it seemed that this person's background was very unusual. Faced with these people's repeated provocations, I not only didn't fall out with them, but repeatedly tolerated them. After all, those present were all influential figures in the business world, and I didn't want to cause everyone embarrassment. But constant concessions only brought endless ridicule. Enough! I stood up abruptly, my eyes sweeping around. It seems this business deal can't be discussed today. I'm now giving all of you 2 choices. Those who know what's good for them should disappear from my sight, and the rest I'll consider my enemies. I naturally won't show mercy to my enemies. As soon as I said this, everyone burst into laughter. Everyone heard that, right? This pretty boy actually wants us to make a choice. That's really laughable. Sean, you really think you're somebody, don't you? Which of the bosses sitting here isn't worth hundreds of millions? What are you going to do to make us leave? I slowly turned my head, suppressing the anger in my heart. I don't know if you've heard Th. E saying that there's always someone better than you. I advise you to choose carefully, or it'll be too late to regret it. As soon as I finished speaking, Ryan's face immediately revealed a disdainful expression. You, someone better than you? Kid, don't think you can act tough just because you're the Yang family's live-in son-in-law. I'm afraid you don't even know it yet, but Mr. Yang is about to divorce you. The bosses in the room breathed a sigh of relief after hearing Ryan's words and ridiculed me again. I looked at the smiling faces in disappointment. Was this the so-called Willow Creek business world? I was treated so badly just because I couldn't drink. Whether they called me a live-in son-in-law or a pretty boy, I didn't take it to heart. But I didn't expect that I couldn't even control my own company's people. Was this the consequence of being too low-key? Because of my special status, I've stayed at home most of these years and rarely showed my face outside. Even if I occasionally heard company employees gossiping about me behind my back, I just smiled it off. But I didn't expect that my usual nonchalant attitude would become the capital for the other party's arrogance. Seeing that I didn't speak, Ryan thought I was scared and pushed the whiskey glass in front of me. Sean, here are 10 glasses of whiskey. As long as you drink them all, you can leave. We'll call everything that happened before water under the bridge, and you can continue to go back and be your pretty boy. But if you refuse to drink, then I'm sorry, you won't be able to get out of this private room today. I suppressed my anger and stared at him. Assistant Ryan, don't you know I'm allergic to alcohol? Ryan glanced at me out of the corner of his eye, his face full of disdain. It's just a few drinks. It won't kill you. Anyway, I've already said my piece. You choose whether to drink or not. Ryan's words made me laugh and cry. I'm afraid even Ashley's dad wouldn't dare to tell Kay to me like that, so where did he, a mere assistant, get his courage? Thinking of this, I became even more curious about the forces behind Ryan. Ryan, I don't think there's any point in me talking to you anymore. Let the person behind you come out. What's the point of hiding behind the scenes and scheming against others? Does he not even have the courage to face me? As soon as I finished speaking, the door of the private room was pushed open. A man about my age walked in slowly. Mr. Sean, it seems you're not as stupid as the outside world claims. Brent, Emperor of the North Brent, why are you here? With Ryan's exclamation, everyone stood up to welcome this rich second generation from the capital. Judging by this situation, you should be the force behind Ryan. The man called Brent sat down across from me without hesitation. You guessed right. I am Ryan's boss. I'm Brent. You can call me Brent like they do. The Yang family in Willow Creek needs my support to develop in the capital. The man's tone was extremely arrogant, even more so than Ryan. I just glanced at him coldly and then looked away. Brent must be here for my wife. Brent nodded, looking at me with a pained expression. Mr. Sean, as far as I know, you've been married to Ms. Yang for 3 years, and you probably haven't even held her hand. That's a real shame. Halfway through his words, he silently lit a cigarette and held it in his hand, the corners of his mouth slightly raised. After today, your wife will be my woman. Hearing his words, I didn't have any emotional fluctuations, but instead smiled in relief. So that's how it is. I understand now. Since Brent has taken a liking to my wife, then I'll give her to you. Brent was a little surprised to see me so nonchalant. Mr. Sean, aren't you angry at all? I waved my hand and smiled. What's there to be angry about? If anything, I have to thank Brent. If it weren't for you interfering, I wouldn't know how to talk to the Yang family. But I have to remind you that no matter who it is, those who offend me will not have a good end. Brent probably didn't expect that I could act even tougher than him, and his face turned green with anger. He immediately waved his hand. Ryan, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and do it. As soon as he finished speaking, Ryan directly picked up the whiskey bottle in front of him and smashed it hard on my head. I didn't have time to react and was knocked to the ground on the spot. To perform well in front of Brent, Ryan rushed over and started punching and kicking me. Before long, I was covered in injuries. That's enough. Don't beat him to death. Brent walked up to me and slowly squatted down. Kid, take this as a lesson from me today. Remember this in the future, don't ever act tough in front of me, or I'll kill you. I struggled to get up from the ground and looked at him, my tone still neither humble nor arrogant. The North family of the capital is nothing more than this. Brent's face turned dark immediately after hearing my words. This time, he personally picked up a bench and started hitting me. Just then, someone in the crowd exclaimed. Everyone, including Brent, turned around in unison. Mr. Yang, why are you here? The person who came was my wife, the new chairman of the Yang group, Ashley. Ashley's eyes widened when she saw me. Husband, what happened? Why are you so badly injured? I wiped the blood from my forehead and slowly raised my head. Ashley, stop acting. Wasn't everything that happened today planned by you? Hearing my words, a hint of surprise flashed in Ashley's eyes, and then she threw herself into Brent's arms in front of everyone. Sean, don't blame me. Blame yourself for not being good enough. The Yang family is now the head of the big four families in Willow Creek. To take it further, we have to go to the capital. Choosing the North family of the capital is the best choice right now. I looked up at her and said coldly. Why, you've been lying to me from the beginning, haven't you? I almost never participated in the company's business, but this time Ashley insisted that I sign the contract. She probably wanted to use outsiders to make me back down. You're right. The reason I married you before was only because my dad forced me. Now that he's retired, I naturally have the right to pursue love. I sneered. Ashley, you're having an affair, do you understand? I kept staring at Ashley as I spoke, but she didn't dare to meet my eyes. Before she could speak, Brent stood up. What affair? You're saying so much, all you want is money, right? Name your price. I have plenty of money. I looked at the young rich man from the capital acting like a clown. Brent, don't say I didn't warn you. Even if you're from the capital, you can't afford to offend me. Ashley immediately became unhappy as soon as I finished speaking. Sean, stop scaring people here. You're just a dog kept by our family. You've been married to me for so long, and all you do is stay at home and play chess. You don't do anything serious. Let me tell you the truth, if it weren't for my dad's sake, I would never have married you. How could I not do anything serious? It's just that my job wasn't convenient to reveal. It's estimated that Mr. Yang didn't tell his daughter my true identity because he had considered this. Ashley's words immediately caused everyone to burst into laughter. Everyone heard that, right? This pretty boy is good for nothing except for being good-looking. That's right. Our Brent is one of the capital 4 young masters. He's much better than this waste. If the Yang family can rely on the big tree of the North family, it'll be just around the corner for them to enter the capital. The people around kept flattering Brent, but no one stood up to help me. It seemed that in their eyes, all that mattered was profit in exchange, and morality and values were not important at all. With such bosses, he company was probably not far from going bankrupt. Ashley, you want a divorce, right? I can grant you that. But I have one request. Ashley looked at me with disdain. Say it. What do you want? Money or a house? I can give you anything. I smiled and shook my head. I don't want money or a house. I just want to make a phone call to Mr. Yang and tell him that you took the initiative to divorce me, and it has nothing to do with me. Ashley thought I was calling her dad to try to save her, and her tone became even more contemptuous. Call whoever you want. The outcome will be the same anyway. Seeing her smug look, the only bit of goodwill I had for the Yang family disappeared. Ashley, you probably misunderstood what I meant. I never thought of advising you to turn back. I just want to tell your dad that the Yang family will be destroyed because of you. As for you and this Brent from the capital, I hope you won't regret it after I make this phone call. I originally wanted to spare the Yang family for the sake of my parents' friendship, but some people just didn't appreciate it. Like the chairman of the Yang group standing in front of me. Bah! Sean, why don't you take a piss and look at yourself? What do you have to compare with Brent? He can crush you with just one finger. Ashley wanted to continue, but I quickly waved my hand. Enough! Those words of yours are enough. After speaking, I dialed Mr. Yang's phone in front of everyone. Hello, Uncle Yang, it's Sean. The person on the other end smiled happily as soon as they heard my voice. Oh, Sean, you're not accompanying the senior advisor to play chess. Why do you have time to call me? I looked at Ashley meaningfully and said slowly, Uncle Yang, your daughter wants to divorce me. Before the other side could react, I immediately continued, I've already agreed. Mr. Yang was silent for a moment, and then I heard the sound of a cup falling to the ground. Nonsense. This is simply nonsense. Mr. Sean, where are you? I'm coming right away. Before I could speak, Brent snatched the cell phone away. Hello, are you Ashley's father? I'm Emperor of the North. This young master has taken a liking to your daughter. Hurry up and pack up and prepare to move to the capital. Mr. Yang probably didn't expect that someone would dare to call themselves Emperor of the North in front of me and was stunned on the spot. I don't care what emperor you are. I will never agree to my daughter being with you. Brent still didn't know my identity and was still acting arrogant. Mr. Yang, do you know who you're talking to? Behind me is the North family. Who dares to defy me in the entire capital? It's an honor for your Yang family that I took a liking to your daughter. Don't be shameless. Brent hung up the phone directly after saying this last sentence. Ashley, who was next to him, wasn't angry at all when she heard Brent insulting her father. Instead, she looked at him with admiration. Honey, you looked so handsome on the phone just now. Ashley turned to look at me, immediately putting on a cold expression. Sean, you've made your phone call. It's time to fulfill your promise. As she said that, she took out a set of divorce papers from her bag. I've prepared the documents. Hurry up and sign. Looking at the stack of documents on the table, it confirmed my previous guess even more. Everything that happened today was planned by her. From the beginning, she had Ryan deliberately make things difficult, then had these bosses provoke me, and finally had Brent appear and force me to divorce her in public. I naturally wouldn't show any mercy to this kind of person. Without hesitation, I signed my name and handed it back. Seeing that I was so willing to sign, Ashley's eyes flashed with dissatisfaction. Sean, what do you mean? I looked up at her, my tone no longer containing any emotion. What? Didn't you want to divorce me from the beginning? Now that I've done what you anteed, signed the papers, and put on my fingerprint, you're blaming me instead. I advise you to sign it quickly, so your Emperor of the North doesn't abandon you. Ashley's face turned red from being by me. Sign it. It's not like anyone cares about you. Ashley glared at me and signed her name on the divorce papers as well. With this, my 3-year marriage finally came to an end. I don't know why, but when I saw Ashley sign her name, I didn't feel sad at all. Instead, I felt relieved. I've signed the papers. You can disappear from my sight now. Don't be in such a hurry. I found a bench and sat down across from Ashley and Brent, looking at them coldly. Now that I have nothing to do with the Yang family, it's time to settle the old scores. As soon as I finished speaking, Brent, who was standing next to Ashley, chuckled. Did I hear that right? You said you want to settle the score with me? Kid, do you know who I am? Do you know how the title Emperor of the North came about? You can't possibly think that a retired Mr. Yang can do anything to me, right? Everyone burst into laughter again after hearing Brent's words. But I didn't care at all. Before long, everyone here wouldn't be able to laugh. Seeing that I didn't speak, Brent thought I was scared and kissed Ashley hard in front of me. Kid, today you either kowtow and apologize to me, or I'll have your legs broken. I couldn't help but laugh. Emperor of the North, you're as stupid as the dog you keep, and you still don't know who you've offended. Before Brent could speak, Ryan jumped out again. Little bastard, open your dog eyes and see who this is. Brent is from the North family of the capital. Ryan became more and more excited as he spoke, and the saliva almost sprayed on my face. I calmly pushed him away and took out my cell phone. Hello, I'm in danger at the Seaport City restaurant and need support. After hanging up the phone, I looked at the clock on the wall and started counting in my head. Before I could count to 10, the door of the private room was kicked open hard. Dozens of armed police officers quickly surrounded the scene. A middle-aged man wearing a Western suit appeared in everyone's sight. Seeing this, Ryan quickly straightened his collar and greeted him with a flattering expression. Mr. Jiang, are you here to welcome Brent as well? Everyone's face changed after hearing Ryan call out the man's name. Ashley hid behind Brent even more carefully. Only I sat in place, rhythmically tapping the table with my fingers. The man named Mr. Jiang scanned the room with his eyes. When he saw me sitting in the corner, he became nervous. Mr. Sean, who injured you like this? I smiled and pointed to Ryan, who was still confused. He's the one who hit me. Before Ryan could react, he was pressed to the ground by the police officers next to him. Mr. Jiang, there must be some misunderstanding here. I'm Brent's person. You can't touch me. Hearing his underling call out his name, Brent had no choice but to step forward. This old gentleman, I'm from the North family of the capital. Can you give me some face and release my man? However, Mr. Jiang didn't even look at him and gently waved his hand. Take him away. From the moment they entered to when Ryan was taken away, the whole process took less than 10 seconds. Everyone was completely dumbfounded. What on earth is going on? How could business matters have alerted the cabinet? Yeah, the cabinet never shows its face easily. It's not worth offending Brent for a live-in son-in-law, is it? Stop talking. The situation is beyond our control now. Let's just hope Brent can turn things around, otherwise we'll all be implicated today. Brent, having lost face in public, was very unhappy and stared at me with resentment. Boy, you're arresting my people in front of me. Are you trying to make an enemy of the Bei family? I looked at him with a faint smile. Brent, this is just the beginning. You're next. My dad used to teach me that for people like them, who think they're invincible just because they have a little money, the way to deal with them is to use their own methods against them. If they're arrogant, you have to be even more arrogant. I already warned you, let alone the Bei family of Capital Circle. Even if all 4 of the Capital 4 young masters are here today, I'll arrest whoever I need to. Didn't you ask me what my identity was? I'll give you time to make a call now. Brent's face was a bit ugly, but he still took out his cell phone in front of me. Hey, brother Ryan, it's Brent. I want you to help me look up a person. Yeah, someone in Willow Creek named Sean. Hey, brother Ryan, can you hear me? I could hear the cursing exploding from the phone from more than a meter away. Damn it, who the hell did you offend? I can't even find this guy's background. I laughed so hard I almost fell over. Brent glared at me and then dialed a second number. Hey, Uncle Lee, it's little Brent. How have you been lately? This time, Brent exchanged pleasantries on the phone for about a minute before getting to the point. Uncle Lee, I'm in a bit of trouble in Willow Creek. I was wondering if you could help me sort it out. Who are we dealing with? All I know is his last name is Shen, and his name is Sean. Hey, Uncle Lee, can you hear me? He was greeted with another dial tone. At this moment, sweat broke out on Brent's forehead, and he dialed a third number with a trembling hand. Hey, Dad, I'm in trouble. Come save me. Brent called his dad directly, and his voice was trembling. I don't know his background. I had people investigate, but I can't find any information on him. You little rascal. Apologize to him immediately. I could hear Brent's dad's roar from more than 3 meters away. If he doesn't forgive you, don't even think about coming back. Brent stared blankly at the cell phone screen. I coughed a few times at him. Hey, Emperor of the North, what's the verdict? Do you know my identity now? Brent tremblingly raised his head. Mr. Sean, I'm sorry. I was wrong. As soon as he said this, everyone gasped. How is that possible? Even Brent can't do anything to him? Did you all hear that? That call seemed to go directly to Capital Circle. We're probably in big trouble today. What are we going to do? I shouldn't have come here today. The faces of the business tycoons who had mocked me before now showed expressions of fear. I glanced around the room and slowly said, "Don't panic, one by one. After I deal with Brent, it'll be your turn." At this moment, my words were like a bomb, hitting everyone hard. 1 second ago, I was just a live-in son-in-law abandoned by the Yang family. The next second, I transformed into someone even the Bei family of Capital Circle couldn't afford to offend. The person who regretted it the most now was naturally my ex-wife, Ashley. She stood there pale and motionless. Before I could say anything, Mr. Yang also arrived at the scene. Seeing the scene before him, Mr. Yang instantly understood what was going on. He ran breathlessly to me and bowed deeply. Fortunately, I quickly helped him up. "Mr. Yang, you don't need to say anything more. I have nothing to do with your Yang family anymore." Mr. Yang opened his mouth to say something, but seeing the determination in my eyes, he had no choice but to vent his anger on Ashley. There was a loud smack, and 5 bright red finger marks instantly appeared on Ashley's face. "You idiot! What did you do behind my back? I finally got Mr. Shen to agree to this marriage, but you ruined all my efforts." Ashley looked aggrieved. "Dad, why are you hitting me?" Mr. Yang was panting heavily, looking extremely disappointed. "You still have the nerve to ask me why? Do you think the Yang family has today's status because your old man is great? Let me tell you, without Mr. Shen, our Yang family would have gone bankrupt a long time ago." Mr. Yang's words were like the last straw that broke the camel's back. The pretty boy, the useless live-in son-in-law in their eyes, was actually the mastermind behind the Yang family's rise. Everyone unanimously turned their eyes to me. I just waved my hand slightly. All right, since everyone is here, I won't waste any more time. From today onwards, the Yang family is completely removed from the Big Four families, and the same goes for all the bosses present. All company assets will be confiscated. Saying that, I looked at Brent, who was shivering in the corner. As for the Emperor of the North, one of the Capital 4 young masters notified the Bei family to come to Willow Creek in person to pick him up. The apology must be sincere, otherwise no one will be able to take him away. My voice was very soft, but no one dared to object. After dealing with these people, I slowly stood up and walked straight to Ashley. "How is it? The taste of the Yang family declining because of you is not good, is it?" Ashley opened her mouth slightly, but her throat couldn't make any sound. But I could tell from her eyes that she must be regretting it very much. Leaving the restaurant, I took a cab to the place where I used to play chess. As soon as I sat down, the old man sitting across from me couldn't wait to ask, "How was it? Did you deal with those people?" "Don't worry, with you taking action, who can do anything to me?" The old man grinned happily and quickly set up the chessboard. "It's good that you're divorced. Now you can play chess with me every day." I smiled and didn't reply. Checkmate.